Ever noticed how the most intelligent people in the room are often the quietest? It's not because they're shy, it's because they're wise enough to avoid saying certain things. Let's explore the controversial truth about what intelligent people never say. And hey, if you've said any of these before, don't worry, we're all here to grow. 1. I already know that. The classic responsing, I already know that. It's like we've mastered the art of brushing off valuable lessons, as if hearing something repeatedly makes us immune to actually doing it. But here's the thing, if you truly knew it, why aren't you living it? Let's be honest, we're all guilty of hearing advice, nodding along, and then moving on with our lives as if nothing's changed. But there's a difference between hearing something and truly letting it sink in. There's a difference between knowing and living. Knowledge alone doesn't change anything. Action does. I've been there. Someone would say, wake up early to be productive. I'd nod and think, yeah, I know. But then I'd roll over, hit snooze, and sleep until noon. I knew waking up early was good for me, but I wasn't doing it. Why? Because saying, I already know that, is easy. It's a way to avoid the hard work that actually makes those words matter. It's like owning a sports car but never driving it. You have the power and potential, but unless you take action, you're not going anywhere. I remember the moment I realized this. Someone told me, stop checking your phone as soon as you wake up. It ruins your day. I thought, I already know that. But then I looked at my life and wondered why I always felt scattered and behind. The truth hit Meg, I wasn't doing the simple things I knew I should. That's when I decided to stop saying, I already know that, and start doing. I began putting my phone out of reach before bed, and suddenly, my mornings became clearer and my thoughts more focused. It was the simplest change, but it made the biggest difference. Here's the deeper messaging: people who really know something don't need to say it. They just live it. It's not about being the loudest in the room, proclaiming how much you know. It's about the quiet confidence of someone who's actively applying their wisdom in their daily life. Successful people, entrepreneurs, athletes, masters of their craft, don't say, I already know that. They're out there doing it, practicing, failing, and improving. So next time you catch yourself saying, I already know that, pause and ask them, am I really living this? 2. That's not fair. Let's talk about fairness. We've all said, that's not fair. It feels good to say, doesn't it? Like the universe owes us an explanation for why things aren't balanced. But here's the hard truth: life isn't fair, and it never will be. The sooner you accept that, the sooner you can focus on what truly matters, what you can control. Complaining about fairness is like yelling at the wind. It's loud, dramatic, and ultimately pointless. When I was younger, I got hung up on fairness all the time. If someone else succeeded, I'd think, why them? I worked just as hard. Or if I failed, I'd convince myself life was rigged against me. But then a mentor bluntly told Meg, stop whining. Fairness is a myth. It stung, but it was the wake-up call I needed. Nature itself isn't fair. Some are born predators, others prey. Some people are born with wealth, while others start with nothing. Fairness isn't a law of the universe. It's a human construct. Complaining about fairness wastes energy. Energy you could use to get better, to adapt, to win despite the odds. Every minute you spend crying about unfairness is a minute you give away to circumstances or people who don't care. Like Michael Jordan, for example. He didn't make his high school varsity basketball team. Was that fair? Maybe not. But instead of sulking, he worked harder than anyone else and became one of the greatest athletes of all time. Fairness didn't hand him success. Relentless effort did. Here's the truth to let sink in. Fairness is irrelevant. What matters is resilience. What matters is how you respond when life doesn't play by the rules you thought it should. I remember losing out on a promotion I thought I deserved. My initial reaction, that's not fair. But after the pity party, I realized complaining wouldn't change the outcome. So I got to work. I improved my skills, built better relationships, and eventually landed a position even better than the one I missed. Here's the takeaway: fairness is a distraction. It keeps you stuck in frustration and inaction. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Ask, what can I do about it? That mindset shift is the difference between being a victim of your circumstances and becoming the architect of your life. Remind yourself fairness isn't a guarantee, and it's not a requirement for success. Focus on what you can control: your effort, attitude, and actions. Life may not always be fair, but you can choose to rise above it. When you do, you'll realize that fairness was never the point. Strength, resilience, and adaptability are what truly matter. 3. I deserve this. The entitlement trap, the infamous, I deserve this. We use it to justify skipping the gym or indulging in self-pity. It feels good to say, like the universe owes us something for our hard work or suffering. But here's the truth. Life doesn't operate on a deserve system. Life is messy and unpredictable. Clinging to entitlement only sets you up for disappointment. I used to live in that bubble thinking, I've worked hard, so I deserve success. When things didn't go my way, I'd feel bitter and frustrated. The harsh truth, deserving something doesn't entitle you to it. Only action, consistency, and persistence bring results. Think about it, how many people say, I deserve a promotion, while doing the bare minimum, or I deserve love, without working on themselves. The I deserve this mindset is a crutch. It avoids the truth that sometimes you need to work harder, wait longer, and face rejection without losing momentum. Instead of saying, I deserve this, ask, what else can I do to earn this? Deserving something is passive, earning it is active. The universe doesn't hand out participation trophies. You earn rewards through hard work and persistence. This doesn't mean you shouldn't recognize your worth. Knowing your worth keeps you from settling, but worth isn't determined by entitlement. It's about what you're willing to do to align your life with your values. The world doesn't owe you anything, but when you show up, work hard, and refuse to quit, life tends to reward those who earn it. 4. I'm too old or too young for this. This excuse is a way to justify fear. Fear of failure, judgment, or even success. But age is rarely the real obstacle, mindset is. Society perpetuates the idea that there's an expiration date on dreams. Yet history proves otherwise. Colonel Sanders started KFC in his 60s. Grandma Moses began painting in her 70s. They didn't say, I'm too old for this. They got to work. If you think you're too young, remember youth is your superpower. Mark Zuckerberg launched Facebook in his 20s. Malala Yousafzai became a global activist as a teenager. I've used this excuse myself. When I was younger, I avoided opportunities, thinking I wasn't ready. Lay thought, maybe it's too late. But every time I pushed past those doubts, I found growth and success. Age is just a number. It's your belief about number that defines your potential. Instead of saying, I'm too old, say, I have the wisdom to make this work. Instead of, I'm too young, say, I have the energy to make this happen. Age doesn't define your ability. Your mindset does. It's never too early or too late to start living the life you want. 5. They're just lucky. The ultimate cop-out when we see someone succeed, it's easy to say, they're just lucky. It's comforting. It absolves of responsibility. If they're just lucky, we don't have to confront the reality that they may have worked harder, sacrificed more, or made better choices. Luck plays a role, sure, but success is rarely just luck. It's preparation meeting opportunity, perseverance, and effort. Stop blaming luck and start asking, what can I do to create my own opportunities? When you let go of excuses like luck, age, or entitlement, you'll find that success is within your control, if you're willing to work for it. Luck is rarely the full story, let's be honest. Luck isn't the whole story. Think about IQ. How often do we see the grind behind someone's success? We notice the promotion, not the sleepless nights. The thriving business, not the failed attempts. The fit body, not the hours in the gym or the discipline to say no to junk food. Labeling success as luck is like watching the final scene of a movie and pretending the rest of the story didn't happen. Sure, luck exists. Right place, right time, meeting the right person. But here's the truth. Luck only works if you're prepared to seize the opportunity. Luck isn't stumbling upon a pot of gold. It's showing up every day, shovel in hand, ready to dig. Even when you don't know where the treasure lies. I used to think successful people had it easy. Connections, money, or some magical break. But as I looked deeper, talked to these lucky people, and read their stories, a pattern emerged: sleepless nights, relentless focus, countless failures, and an unyielding refusal to quit. Luck may have played a part, but grit, preparation, and perseverance were the real MVPs. Take Bryan Cranston, for example. Before Breaking Bad made him a household name, he spent decades working smaller roles, honing his craft, and enduring rejection. Was landing Walter White lucky? Maybe. But without years of dedication, that break would have passed him by. Here's the thing: calling someone lucky often reflects our own insecurities. It's easier to attribute their success to luck than admit we're not putting in the work. But every time we dismiss someone's achievements as luck, we rob ourselves of the chance to learn from their journey. So instead of saying, "They're just lucky," ask, "What did they do to get there?" Study their habits, decisions, and mindset. You'll often find their luck was built on hard work, smart choices, and persistence. 6. That's too risky. It's the perfect excuse to stay in your comfort zone. Risk is scary, unpredictable, and uncomfortable. But here's the question: what's the bigger risk? Trying and failing, or staying stuck forever? When we avoid risk, we're really saying, "I'm afraid of the unknown." And that's okay, it's human. But let's be honest, every meaningful accomplishment in life comes with risk. Starting a business, pursuing a relationship, moving to a new city. These are all risky. But they're also the steps that lead to growth and fulfillment. I've been there. I passed up a project I dreamed of because it felt too risky. Fear of failure and rejection held me back. But the regret of not even trying stayed with me for years. That safe decision cost me more than I realized. Risk is unavoidable. Even staying in your comfort zone comes with the risk of stagnation and regret. Life itself is a risk, so why not take risks aligned with your dreams? Think about the people you admire. Elon Musk bet everything on Tesla and SpaceX. Oprah Winfrey left a secure job to start her own show. Successful people don't avoid risk. They take calculated risks. They prepare, weigh options, and leap. Next time, instead of saying, "That's too risky," ask, "What's the worst that could happen?" Often, the worst isn't as bad as you think. Then ask, "What's the best that could happen?" Focus on the potential upside. Avoiding risk means avoiding life. Growth and greatness live on the other side of fear. Challenge the status quo. That's not how we've always done it. It's the battle cry of stagnation. Clinging to the past feels safe, but it's often why we're stuck. The world evolves. Industries shift, technology advances, cultures change. So must we. Imagine if humanity stuck with how we've always done it. We'd still light homes with candles, ride horses to work, and think the earth is the center of the universe. Progress happens when someone dares to ask, "What if there's a better way?" I've seen it firsthand. A team I worked with clung to outdated methods, shutting down new ideas. The result, low morale and falling behind competitors. But when we finally challenged the status quo, innovation flourished and everything changed. Tradition has value, but it can't stand in the way of progress. Growth comes from questioning old ways and embracing change. Look at history. Apple didn't stick to old methods when it created the iPhone. Netflix didn't cling to DVDs when streaming emerged. Leaders like Martin Luther King Jr. and Mahatma Gandhi didn't settle for the status quo. They envisioned better ways. Change doesn't mean abandoning everything. It means building on what works and improving what doesn't. Next time you hear, "That's not how we've always done it," pause and ask, is the old way still serving us? If not, it's time for change. The future belongs to those who dare to reinvent the present. These limiting beliefs, whether about luck, risk, or tradition, are just barriers we create for ourselves. Growth doesn't happen in the comfort zone. It happens when you challenge yourself, take risks, and let go of what's holding you back. Life is short. Every excuse you make today is a regret waiting to happen. So take the leap, bet on yourself, and stop letting fear and doubt keep you from the life you're capable of living. If this resonated with you, like, subscribe, and share with someone who needs to hear it. Together, let's stop playing small and start living boldly. Until next time, stay fearless and keep pushing forward. Until then, act wisely and act Stoic.